Hello, welcome to the Team Ellen Winn call for DHC. We're gonna have a great call tonight. My name is Bobby Knight. I'm gonna be helping Ellen here tonight. So we welcome everyone, and we appreciate everyone being here tonight. So kick back, relax a little bit, and we're gonna have a great speaker, Ellen Winn, here in a shortly. Okay, I'm gonna tell a little bit about Ellen. She's a great teacher here. So Ellen, she grew up with a family on a 500-acre farm, and that was in Dallas, Georgia. And she learned the meaning of work at a very responsible, early age. She started really early there. She started her first part-time job off the farm at the age of 14 and has valued the independence of making her own money. Appreciate that. After 1 year in college, she decided to go to bartending school, which she began at the age of 25 years in a restaurant industry. And the first 7 years were spent in a locally owned restaurants and bars. Then in 1989, she had the opportunity to work for Domino's Pizza. She quickly worked her way up the corporate ladder from a store manager to an area supervisor to a field trainer and a senior operating director of over 74 corporate stores in Georgia. As you can see, she grew really quick. She's proved that she was a super leader really early. By 1997, she was ready to venture out on her own and start her own brand of pizza restaurants and has been an entrepreneur ever since. She's a super entrepreneur. In 2002, she was introduced to the network marketing industry and was able to walk away from her restaurant industry. So proud of you, Ellen. She has helped build some very large organizations in a variety of industries over the years, and she is currently a super leader in one of the largest and fastest growing teams inside of DAC. We appreciate everything that you do, Ellen. We're going to bring you on now. Here's our superstar and the champion of champions, the super leader, Miss Ellen Winn. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
Bobby, I appreciate you so much. And man, I don't know if I can live up to all of those accolades, but I'll try my best. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of our co-hosts tonight. We have Tony Breland, Bobby, and Harlequin is here helping moderate. He usually does some of these intros or most of the intros, and she said tonight she's got a head cold going and is coughing a little bit, so didn't feel up to speaking, but I'm sure you'll see or hear from her shortly here along the way. I'll probably say something or leave something out and she'll have to bring it to my attention. But guys, if this is the first time you have joined us on our weekly Team Zoom, welcome. We're super excited that you're here. There are so many good things happening in this company. I've been a part of DAC since June of 2018, coming up on almost a 5-year anniversary, and things just keep getting better and better. Being here early on means that we're at a foundational phase of the company. Even though the company's 7 years old, we're still growing and we're still putting systems in place and creating what is to be in the years to come. And you get to be a part of that. The downside is sometimes we don't have everything that we need right here, right now, and not everything that we desire as far as systems in place. But the upside is huge. We're first to market with it, and we're the first in the company to be able to tell other people about DAC. So now you've got tens of thousands of people around you that have never heard of David Allen Capital, and you have the opportunity to recruit them and they'll be on your team. If you were coming in 5 years from now, chances are a lot of people around you would know about DAC and you would have already missed that opportunity to have them as part of your sales organization. So there are huge benefits to being here in the beginning stages. And going through some of the developmental stages of the company. That's part of what leadership is. And that's part of why I'm committed. I see the vision with David Allen Capital. I see the vision that our company founder, David Rutz, has. And I really believe that DAC is going to be one of the legendary companies out there today in the near future. And we all get to be a part of that. So welcome. Let me get us kicked off like I normally do in screen share mode. And Harlequin, before I do that, let me point out my background here. Harlequin's like, I'm just showing off with my screensaver. Guys, this is my backyard. that you're seeing. This is not a screensaver that I pulled up from anybody else. This is my backyard, and my office literally overlooks what you're seeing on the screen behind me. If I look to my right, there's a screen porch overlooking that. So that's my inspiration, and the reason why I love working from home. I get to stay home and work in my own little piece of paradise here, enjoying the fruits of my labor from all those years, from being a teenager, learning how to work hard on the farm and being diligent about that my entire life, but also wanting to see and help others develop and grow into being their best that they can be here with this entrepreneurial opportunity. So let me get us into screen share mode, and I'll take us through some slides that I've put together as I do every week. And you should now see the "We Fuel the American Dream" on the screen. Tony, I can see you. Is that what you're seeing, my screen? Awesome. Thank you so much. In Harlequin, we're hearing you, sweetie. I know you are not feeling good tonight. Got that? There you go. Y'all see why she's not talking, right? All right, so let's get into it. So DAC, this opportunity is fueling the American dream in two ways. One, it is fueling the business owners that need our services, whether it's working capital or whether we're saving them money on their payment processing, helping them get their employee retention tax credits back, helping them save money on payment processing, or helping them save money on their health care. Right? We got a great healthcare program. I was talking with our founder, David Rutz, a little bit ago about that, and we got some exciting things coming on the healthcare side. But DAC is fueling the American dream for the business owner, but most importantly, they're fueling the American dream for folks like you and I, with an entrepreneurial opportunity where we can work from home and build a massive income from the comfort of our own home, just reaching out to other people, whether it's going out in your local community or marketing online or marketing through phone calls or emails or all the things that we teach. The opportunity is here in front of us today. So I want to start out about the agency and our business model, right? There is significant income possible for you if you go out and get personal clients. You can earn upfront bonuses on personal clients, and there's also personal client residuals on some of our programs. So you can build your business as a solopreneur, or you can also earn from building an agency and helping us expand the David Allen Capital model across the country if you want to build a team. If you do want to build a team, we're providing you a world-class opportunity with a performance-based compensation plan, and then we're going to provide you with significant income to introduce this to other entrepreneurs. When you help them have success by helping them get plugged into the system. You don't have to physically do the work for them, but you just want to make sure that you're coaching and pointing them in the right direction. When you do that, if you build a team, you can earn enroller bonuses off of what they do. You can earn income between 10 and 50% income match on all the personal bonuses that your personally enrolled agents earn. You can also earn leadership bonus override. So let's look at the country. That override bonus will pay between 10 and 50%. So let's look around those big desks across the U.S. that you're seeing there. Let's say that those are the agents that you personally introduced to David Allen Capital. But they're going to see the opportunity to grow their own agency, right? So they're going to tell a few people about the DAC agent opportunity too. So each of those agents that you personally enroll, start telling a few agents, and they're growing their own agency within your organization. You can earn from 10 to 50% match on the overrides on everybody's income in your organization. And then we have residual commissions where you can earn 7 levels deep, and those are compressed levels, which could be literally dozens of levels deep in your group, where you can earn an income match up to 30%. But let's take a look at an example on this 10 to 50% income match. And let's put some dollar figures on it, right? Those agents that you personally recruited and their teams and so on, they're earning significant income. In fact, in this particular example, I'm showing an income of $574,000 in team earnings from everything on the map there that you got started. That income match would equal, if you're at the low end of 10%, you could earn $57,400 in overrides on the organization that you helped get started just by recruiting a few people, all the way up to 287, where you earn a 50% match. And I see I need to add a 0 to the end of that. Of course, this is all depending on qualification and what level you are in a compensation plan, but that's the process of building a business. You start out at the entry level and you work your way up. Every business out there had to start at some point. It may have just been with a mom and pop working out of their garage and grew and expanded into a huge company. And that's how your DAC agency will start out. So we talk about the process and the expansion model as I go into the top recruiters. We go through this every week, and this is for the week of 4/17 through 4/23. We had a total of 23 agents in our organization that recruited at least one new person for a total of 49 new agents overall. So our top recruiters for the week were Ben Randalls. Ben had 19 new agent recruits for the week. Congratulations, Ben. I came in second place, tied with Randy Copland. Each of us had 3 new agent recruits. So congratulations, Randy. And then in 4th place, we had a 4-way tie between Anthony Janis, David Berteo of Berteo Family Industries, D'Anthony Thomas, and Terrence Gibson. Each had 2 new agent recruits. So to get on the leaderboard by name, you had to have 2 or more agents. We had many people that had 1. If you didn't make it to the leaderboard and you only had 1 and need that second recruit, just keep pushing, keep having the conversations, and it's only a matter of time before you're on the leaderboard as well. Last week, I covered the company-wide leaderboards, and I mentioned that DAC as a company is going to start recognizing people that are bringing on clients and doing the right things, having submissions, and getting people in front of the services that we market. Even if they don't become a client, we're going to be recognizing that as our back office reports come online. So look forward to seeing your name on the leaderboard. Tonight, I want to cover a real quick slide show for you of the DAC payment processing process. We've talked about this, and I know they're working on getting it into the Agent Resource Center, but they haven't done that yet. So I thought I'd just put this slideshow together for you. So you've got a screen by screen shot of the process when you send someone in to get a quote on payment processing. Guys, I've had several clients apply for payment processing, and every single one of them, DAC significantly beat the competition. So if you're not talking to local businesses about the services that we market, you're missing out on the opportunity. And before I go into these training slides, let me talk about this. Follow your dollar. That's one of the things that we talk about, is following your dollar, right? And I want to give you a story. I'm an ambassador here with my local Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also a part of a special class called Leadership Paulding. We're on the graduating stages of that coming up next week. And at the end of our class, we always go into a project. We pick a project. We've picked 2 projects here in the community. Actually, we have 3. One of them has funded itself. The other 2 we needed to raise funds for. And as I was looking around at who I was going to ask for funds to help contribute back to this project, the first thing that came to mind for me was for me to follow my dollar, look around my own household and see who I'm spending money with, right? Who is my pest control company? Who comes and services items in my house on a regular basis, whether it be my heating and air company, my pool supply company, lawn, all of these different companies that I'm spending money with. I reached out to every one of them. I walked in the door and I took in the flyer that said what our cause was. And I asked, was the owner in? When I asked if the owner was in, some of them knew me because I already have a relationship with them, but some of them did not. I had to introduce myself. I said, I'm your customer. Just wanted to meet the owner for a minute. And then the owner came out and talked to me. And every single time I walked away with a check. Every single time, because I told them what we were doing, told them what the projects were and what the cause was. And I said, hey, I'm on the end of my deadline here. As you can see, I started this in March, but my deadline is next week. And they said, well, let me just get you a check right now. And I got to thinking, because of that process, because of what I was doing I'm going, I need to do more of this with my DAC business. So I'm sharing my personal story and realizing that I need to do more of that with the way I approach my local community, but sharing that success story with you on how you can walk in the door and ask to meet the owner because you're their customer and you just want to introduce yourself and let them know what you do. Hey, you don't know me directly. I'm one of your customers. Just wanted to stop by and introduce myself today. I love the service you guys provide. Be friendly and chatty with them. And then say, I wanted to see if it'd be okay if I leave you some information on what my company does to see if I can't help you save some money or get money that you can't get from the bank, right? So tap into your local community, and that includes payment processing, right? One of the, actually two of them in particular are doing quotes with me now just because I went in with my fundraising letter. And while I was there, I turned it from that and started talking about what DAC does, what I offer as a DAC agency owner, right? So we got to have those conversations, but the easiest way to have the conversation is to start with a common connection. And that is easy to do if you're already spending money in those businesses. Okay, so let's talk about payment processing and how the process works. So we've got a beautiful updated page. It used to say Sphere on it. Now we've got new processors or additional processors, I should say. And our page has been updated to reflect that. So when the DAC represents multiple processors to help match the best processor for your industry, a one-stop shop designed to get you the best rates guaranteed. And we've got our meter beat guarantee there, $250. If you haven't read that, there's asterisk there. You need to scroll down to the bottom of your David Allen Capital site, and it'll show you the minimums on that to qualify for the $250. Okay. All right. So now somebody clicks on there, get a quote from your David Allen Capital page. It's going to take them over to the Bank Breezy page. Here, they're going to fill in their information, their name, their email address, and their phone number. Now, I've gone ahead and filled this out because I'm going to take you through what that sequence looks like, okay? So once you fill in that information and click submit, it's going to go over to some Q&A for them to go through so that the process can take them over to the right processing company, right? So it's going to ask them, how long have you been in business? From startup all the way to 5+ years. They're just going to select whichever box fits them, and then they're going to click on next. Once they click on next, then it's going to go to how much is your monthly processing? Again, from startup to 5,000 up to 5 million or more per month, so that we know what kind of playing field we're in here. They'll select their monthly revenue, payment processing revenue, not total revenue, right? And then what's your approximate credit score? If you don't realize it, the owner's credit score really plays a big role in being able to get credit. I know I switched over, I was with the previous processor through David Allen Capital, and when we switched over to Sphere from Pay Protect, I went ahead and I switched over to Sphere because their prices actually beat what we were doing before. I like the equipment, it's more user friendly. And when I made that switch, they did a much deeper dive on me as the owner, right? They wanted my credit score. They wanted to see bank statements. They wanted to see the bank statements were there because they wanted to make sure that I had enough revenue in my account with all of these charges that I was running through, that if a client did a chargeback, that there would be money in the account for them to pull that money back out, right? So they do a lot of deep dive on your client to make sure they're credit worthy, because there's a lot of fraud in the credit card industry where people accept fraudulent cards. And if they do that and the client runs off with the money, then there's no money to be taken back out of those accounts. So they really got to do that screening on the business owner that they're giving the processing to. So they'll select what the approximate credit score is. They'll click continue. And then this screen, which is in your back office and agent resource center, is showing those high risk industries. And you've got the same screenshot there just on the payment processing screen of the agent resource center. Okay. And it's asking, there are two types of industries: high risk processing and standard processing. Is your industry listed above? Now, no matter whether they click yes or no, it's going to take them to the same page, but knowing that ahead of time is going to help. But let me point out one more thing. This little line down here at the bottom of the screen, why is my industry considered high risk? If you click on that link, it opens up and it talks about chargebacks and fraud, products or services of questionable legality, and high average ticket sales. Okay, so it explains that. And let's just go through those because you don't have access to them. All right, so if it's chargeback and fraud rates, a high chargeback or fraud rate is one of the most common reasons a payment processor is designated as an industry at high risk. Merchant account, business insurance, and loan providers review your customers' behavior patterns to say whether your industry has a high chargeback rate. Okay, so those are facts, not just assuming. Those are factual based on the numbers. All right, the next one is products or services of questionable legality. Products and services of questionable legality, like pornography and drug paraphernalia, may indicate that you have unstable streams of revenue, and they're often associated with questionable sales and marketing practices. And then the third one, high average tickets. If your industry routinely accepts high cost purchases via credit card transactions, financial institutions may consider you a high risk. This factor primarily affects the businesses that process a high volume of B2B transactions. Okay, so those are what's listed under there is the explanation. All right, so let's go on and look at if they say yes or no, either one, it's going to take them to this page that asks them to type in what is your current industry. They'll type it in, and this is just kind of a catch-all to make sure that they selected yes or no correctly based on their industry, and then they're going to click on submit. Once they click on submit, now you as the agent are going to receive this email. Now, I had selected yes, that I was high risk industry initially, and as you can see, the email subject line coming to me said Bank Breezy submission started, client sent to our high risk partner. All right, and it tells me, hello, Ellen Winn, you have a prospective payment processing client who has started the submission process. Based on their answers, your client has now been seamlessly transitioned to one of our high-risk payment processors, where they will continue their quote application process. Customer's name, what's next? You got to read the email. You will continue to receive updates, but stay involved with your client is the best measure to know what is going on. All right. Now, here's where the road meets the connection here. After they click submit, you got that email after they named their industry type, right? Now it goes over to this page and it tells the client, congratulations, based on your answers, we have a great provider that would be perfect for you. You simply need to answer a few more questions, okay? If the client clicks on continue application, they're going to get a page just like this. And let's blow that up. I just wanted to show you all the questions and answers here at the bottom. They've got an opportunity to upload their statements and put in some comments, but let's blow it up so you can read it, okay? The first part is carried over from what they've already answered, which is basic information about their company. But then they've got an opportunity to list point of contact. If it's the owner, these boxes don't pop up. But if it says not owner, then it gives them a point of contact. Maybe it's an accountant or an office manager that is going to be handling getting this information back and talking to the processor, right? That's where this point of contact information would get put in. And then it asks, do you currently have equipment? Yes or no? Are you using a point of sale or a POS system? Do you want a new POS system? And then upload your last 3-month statement. So if they see any errors also on what was carried over from their previous answers, there'll be little drop downs. Maybe they made an error on selecting what their credit score was or what their processing amount was. There'll be little drop downs and they'll be able to correct that on this final form before they click the submit button down at the bottom of the page. Okay. Now, again, remember, you got this email after they finished the first part of the application. But that doesn't mean that they have submitted that second piece that actually went over to the payment provider. So it's key that you follow up with the client, just like this line says, stay involved with the client process to make sure that you know what is going on. Not getting a second email means that they didn't continue on with the next process. Okay. And give it a couple of days, because payment processing is not as quick as the funding. It means we've got to have that third party come in, whether it's Sphere or some of the high risk providers. I know Sphere copies us on the emails. It's going to send you as the agent an email as well as to the client. I'm hoping that the others do, but I've not dealt with one of the other companies yet to have a client get referred over to them. But you definitely want to stay in touch. Anytime you get an application started email, I encourage you to reach out to the client and introduce yourself. If you already know them, say, hey, I see you got started on this. Make sure that they got to the next step of the process. If it's someone that may have just found you online or through a referral source and you don't recognize the name, reach out to them and say, hey, this is Ellen Winn with David Allen Capital. I see that you started an application on our website. I just wanted to reach out and make sure that the process is going smoothly for you. See, you got started with funding, and I'm seeing that you got sent over to our partners at Bank Breezy. You should have received an email from them, from the submissions team, and just kind of walk them through what the process is to make sure that they're looking for the communication from the funding team or from the payment processing team or from healthcare, or whoever it is that they're communicating with. Just make sure your client is looking for those emails and that those emails don't get sent to the spam folder. All right, so that's the end of my slide. So let me stop screen share and go back to camera mode here. I want to open up for any questions or comments that you guys have. I didn't have any rank advances for last week, and that would have been through Friday. I did have one big funding come through today for 70,000, and I wasn't able to check that until right before we did getting online here. It's been a crazy day. It's been a crazy week for me, guys, in not only with DAC and good things happening there, but my limousine business. You know, when it gets crazy with DAC, my limo business grows too. And I've been pulled in 50 different directions over the past couple of weeks, but keeping my head above water because limo business kind of runs on autopilot. DAC is growing, and at least my business is, and I hope yours is too. So I want to open up and see if you've got any questions. Bobby, I see you've got your hand raised. I'm going to ask you to unmute. What do you have for us tonight?
Okay, thank you, Ellen. Great call. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Is there anything on the identity protect information? Has that came through as of yet? Anything, Ellen?
Yeah, no, it has not. And I had an opportunity to talk with David Rutz this afternoon for a good bit, and we talked about that. It's just not as simple as he and the programmer thought it was going to be. They thought once the existing clients were charged, they was going to be able to turn it on, but the interface between our payment page and the shopping cart needs a little bit of work behind the scenes. They've got someone that is working specifically on that. So hopefully we'll see that in the next few days, hopefully before the end of the week here. Because I know a lot of you are waiting on that. I know I am too. I have some friends that have had some issues going on that I know our DAC Protect product would help them with. So we'll get an announcement on it as soon as it comes, but it's closer now than it was last time we talked about that.
Thanks, Ellen.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Appreciate it. All right, Sean, I see you've got a hand up tonight. How are you doing? Ask you to unmute.
Hi, Ellen. I think I'm unmuted now. How are you?
I'm good. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Well, first off, excellent presentation tonight. I was actually listening. I missed the live leadership locker room today, but I listened in later in the day. And going hand in hand with what you were saying as far as following up with the client, I've actually had two. I followed up with them, and today actually ended up reaching out to help. They were both Giggle clients, potential clients there for funding, but had them reach out to help over there with Giggle, just to follow up because they were having issues with connecting their bank accounts there. And for me, that's where I'm finding a lot of times when I'm following up, when they're trying to connect the bank account, and they can't, that's when they start dropping off or losing that drive, that interest for that funding. So I guess what I'm looking for is any advice in keeping on track with the client, keeping them motivated, don't give up. We're working with you to try to help you as best we can.
Yeah, so great job following up with your clients, and thanks for bringing this up tonight, because I know a lot of agents probably run into this. The thing is, Giggle, which is our automated system for business owners that either are doing less than 5,000 in revenue, or they are operating through a personal checking account, they're automatically going to get sent over to the Giggle platform. And that platform does very low funding amounts. Therefore, it's fully automated, and there's not a lot of hands-on customer support trying to handhold a client through the process. Part of that process, Sean, is that the client has to be able to link their bank account. We cannot do a manual statement review like we do on the Bank Breezy side. So if they cannot link through the Plaid network, which is the bank interface there, then we're not going to be able to do funding with them. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Again, there's very low margin in those lower funding amounts, and that platform is built for speed and for mass numbers of fundings to be able to help more people. But that also minimizes some of the people that would be eligible. There're just going to be some banks that just don't connect with Plaid, and we're not going to be able to help those clients.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Like I said, I'm still getting out there every day, still making my connections and going full force with this, making it my full-time focus. So thanks. I'm hoping, I'm definitely getting the traffic to my site. I can see that based on my personal, website stats. So, and I'm making new connections each day as far as other business owners reaching out to me. So either way, I'm viewing it as, like you said, building a business that's going to last, building a business that's going to grow long-term, and a team. Either way, you're a win as long as, you're making those connections with people. And I've actually reached out to my local chamber as well to get connected with them. So all of your advice, all the trainings on here are being very helpful to me. And I just wanted to thank you for that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're welcome, man. I really appreciate that. And a couple other thoughts on Giggle. You could recommend that your client look at banking with a different bank, but also want to take into consideration that if whatever they're doing in revenue, if they get approved for Giggle funding, Giggle is only going to loan them 25% max of their lowest month. So if over the past 90 days, let's say they did 4,000 one month, they did 3,500 one month, and they did 5,000, 3,500 would be their lowest month. And that's going to be the starting point for the percentage that they're eligible for. So they would take 35,000 times 25%, and that's the max that client would get. So a lot of times the amount that they would be able to borrow is just not really worth the headache of trying to go to another bank, because then they're going to need to be there for 3 months before they would be eligible. So they could always ask their bank, hey, you're not connecting with Plaid, and make a request with them to see if they would be open to doing that. But that's my input for the Giggle platform. All right. Thanks for your question, Sean. All right. I see Bruce has his hand up. Hey, Bruce, how are you doing tonight? I'm going to ask you to unmute. Can you unmute, Bruce? Let's try one more time. Bruce Campbell, can you unmute?
Hi, Ellen. How are you?
Hey, Bruce, I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. I'm fighting with everybody in the whole planet. I'm fighting with the government like crazy, and family services as well. It's like, you know what? You need to step in and help my dying wife. You need to step in and give me some of my benefits for being an American soldier and serving your country back in Vietnam. You need to step in and wake up and help my family with the right tools, with the right products, with the right services to help all Americans. You need to wake up, America. And I am doing my best. And by the way, I sent you a text message and I said something about I like everything on my pizza and I want everything. You can kind of keep the anchovies off because they're a little and they won't give you good smelling breath either. But anyway, everything else you can throw it all on there and I will love your pizza. If anybody can make a pizza, I know you can. All right.
Absolutely. We used to call that the extravaganza when it was Domino's, but my pizza was the Winn Works pizza. We
I
had
would
it
know that you made better crust than Domino's.
I did.
Because
We
you
made everything better than Domino's. I took what I loved about Domino's and
uh-huh.
I implemented that, and the things that I didn't like about it, I improved on it. So thank you, Bruce. I know you're going through some struggles right now, man. I appreciate your
really
dedication to our
because
country and you're being a veteran and all that. And I also empathize with what you're going through with your wife. You're showing your love and care and support for her, sticking in there all these years as her husband
right.
in her times of struggle. And I wish that our government could step up and help you. But in honor of everybody's time here tonight, do you have anything DAC specific? I've got several people with
Just
her.
really need to really like let people know, hey, it's not a one-way street, people. The freeway goes both ways.
It
And we need
does.
to help each other. And we need to consider who that other person is that you're trying to help on the internet. So anyway, I'm going to get out there and pump my own products because I cannot really count on my agents to sell anything. I've got to
Oh,
count on myself to get out there
that's
and
right.
start loans myself and make those calls myself.
That's
So
right.
that's all I say. Thank you so much.
All
Good
right,
seeing you.
Bruce.
And I
You
like your
too.
back, by the way.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. And, Bruce brings up a good point. In fact, David mentioned this, talking about you don't have any control over what anybody in your team does. All we have control over is what we do. We only have control over our actions and the number of people that we contact, the number of people we pick up the phone or get in front of or send a text message to. That's all we have control over. So thank you for bringing that up, Bruce, because that's really what it's all about. We control our daily activity and be a good leader, setting the example for others, and hopefully they will follow, but we can't force them to follow that lead. All right, I've got Deidre's hand up. Deidre, let's ask you to unmute. How are you doing tonight? Can you unmute? There we go.
Okay. First of all, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I've been away from DAC for about like a year because of certain situations in my life. And tonight's my first night back listening. So, and I noticed that a lot of things have changed. So where do I go? Where do I go to actually watch the videos and try to catch up to what's going on?
Good question, and welcome back. Glad that whatever was holding you back has kind of moved aside so that you can get re-engaged with DAC. So what you want to do, Deidre, do you still have your agent ID and you know what your website is?
I know I have my agent ID number. I know I have that.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give you two things that you need to do. If you'll write this down. One, you're going to need to go to davidallencapital.com. And at the very bottom of the page, in the footer of the page, there's a link that says agent login. You're going to click on that, and that's going to take you over to log into your back office. Okay. If you've not logged into the new back office, you're going to need your agent ID number. You'll click on forgot password, and reset it, right? You'll
Okay.
use your agent ID number and click the reset password, and it will email you a reset link to the email that DAC has on file. How do you know what that is? If you've had multiple emails, or maybe you created one for DAC specific, if you're getting the corporate emails, that would be the account. But the easy way to see what email address they have on file is to use your agent ID number and go davidallencapital.com/your ID number, and your information shows up at the top of the page. Whatever email address is at the top of your website is the email address that DAC is using, and that's where your reset password link would go. Okay. The second thing I want you to write down is a web address to a video, and it's just the word website, WEBSITE dot my name, Ellen Winn, ELLEN WINN dot link, LINK. And at
Okay.
that website, you're going to find about a 5.5-minute video where I'm walking you through the new website links, how they work. And I even take you through, at the very end, I take you through resetting that password to get into your back office, and where you're going to find the Agent Resource Center once you get logged into the back office. So you get logged in there, the Agent Resource Center is now behind that password protected link, and you'll click on the Agent Resource Center. When you get over there, you want to go to the Getting Started tab of the Agent Resource Center. And you're going to go through the funding video. There's a David's got a Getting Started video there. You want to watch it, the funding video, and then look at all the different services that we're marketing and get an overview, get a brief overview of all of them, and try to decide what niche it is that you want to market to. You know, whether you have a relationship with people that might need funding, the business industries might need funding, or whether the Relevate or the healthcare or our payment processing, whatever it is that you really connect with as a service, that's what I would lead with. I like leading with the things that everybody can use right now, which is the ERC program. If a business owner hasn't gotten that money, that's free money on the table back from the IRS, and they're foolish to not let someone take a look at it. If they've already been told that they don't qualify, maybe they had their bookkeeper or their accountant say, yeah, I don't think you qualify, and they took their word for it. Let us take a second look. It doesn't cost them anything. There's no obligation to it. And then they know for sure. If they've had a couple of sets of eyes on it and comb through everything, and they've been told no, then they know that they are probably on the right path. But I've seen several that actually did qualify, and we got them money when they were listening to someone that didn't know what they were talking about, and we're going along with the you don't qualify to begin with. So that's where you need to start, Deidre. Anything else?
That's it. And I appreciate you. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you bet. Well, I'm glad you could be on tonight and ask your question. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go to Ann. Hey, Ann, how are you doing tonight?
Well,
There you are.
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
I have a question about payment processing. I'm going to be attending
You muted yourself, Ann. Let's ask you to, there you go.
Sorry.
You're muted now.
okay. I'm going to be attending a local trade show on Thursday. And I expect that payment processing would be my first presentation. Does anyone ever ask you how much it costs to be part of payment processing? They must charge something to clients. You know,
Yeah.
I looked through all the material today and couldn't find anything that related to percentages or prices or.
Yeah, so they do have a chart, okay?
Oh.
But when somebody gets into asking me questions and specifics where my answer might not be specific to that particular company, I don't like giving them an answer, okay?
No.
I can give them a range, and I can say, you know, if somebody's saying, well, how much are your rates? I said, well, we do have a minimal fee in most cases, but depending on your volume, our processor might be willing to waive those fees or waive the cost of equipment, but I really wouldn't be able to tell you because every business is on a case-by-case basis. And also
Okay,
what your rates are is on a case-by-case basis based on the volume of business you do on credit cards, what type of cards you do, how you take
Okay.
those charges, whether it's face-to-face, over the phone,
Yep.
all of that, kind of like our funding has this big financial equation that goes into the picture before they can determine what the rate is for the client. Same thing
Yeah.
with payment processing. All of those questions come up on the application. And I know when I applied with my limousine business, they came back with a side-by-side quote. I showed them my previous processor.
Yeah, yeah.
They did the side-by-side. That's really the simplest thing to say.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Be non-specific,
yeah.
say,
Good.
I'm not really the expert. I just
Yeah.
know that we offer a guarantee to beat any rate that is out there. And the best
Yeah.
part is our expert team will take a look at what your current processing fees are, and they'll
Okay.
bring back a side-by-side comparison totally for free, and there's no obligation when
Yeah.
they present that back to you. So that
Perfect.
would be the selling point, is that
Yeah.
we're going to give them a second look at what their current fees are to make sure that they're getting the best rate.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
bet. Thanks for the question and good luck at your show. Let me know how
Yeah.
that goes.
Thanks.
Yeah. So are you doing a booth or are you going to be visiting the show?
No, I'm just visiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know you've probably heard Harlequin talk before. She loves going to trade shows, and instead of paying money to be in the booth, she likes
Yeah.
going around and visiting, right? Just go around and have your information. And
Mhm.
as you're looking at what it is they're selling, ask them, do you guys do credit cards? Well, I'm
Yeah.
in the card business, and I just wanted to see if it'd be okay if I leave my information, because we guarantee to beat the rates that you're being charged now. Or ask them, are you happy with the fees that you're paying to credit cards? Right?
Yeah.
Get the conversation started. And would it be okay if I left some information behind so that we could give you a side-by-side comparison to make sure that you're getting the absolute lowest rate available in the industry? And you'll get a lot of doors open.
I only have my business card to offer.
Okay, you've got some flyers that you can print out from the back office, some marketing material. And if you don't see something specific there, I can help look for it. One thing I think that would be helpful is if you take that $250 gift card image
Yeah.
that we have on the front of the screen.
Mhm.
If you wanted to have some cards printed up on that for Vistaprint, and I just thought about this, guys, it's a great idea. Take that, right? Take that image of that card and use that on the front side of a business card, or have it in smaller print and have your contact information and payment processing link. But I would use it on the back side of a card, and then on the other
Yeah.
side of it, have my personal name and number and website if I wanted to be out promoting payment
Oh,
processing.
perfect. Yes,
So
good
then
idea.
it's like handing them a $250 gift card on paper,
Yeah.
right? We've got to be your big guarantee. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay,
Thank you. Good questions.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Bruce, you got your hand up again?
Yeah, hi, Alan. I would like to get recordings of your Zoom calls on every Monday night. Can you please send me the link to your specific
I do.
training?
Are you getting my emails?
No, I'm not. I'm not getting your emails,
Hmm.
and I did not have any access to any of your training calls. And it's really important that I get that so I can add that to my messenger when I send out to all those thousands of people that are on my messenger. So it's
Right.
like, hey, you don't make an opinion about what we do. Come and look at us.
Yeah, I got it. So I'll give you two things. One, if you're not getting my emails, you can go and subscribe to my email list by going to the to the website, subscribe.ellenwin.link, right? Y'all know,
Okay.
there's a link out there called Linktree, right? But Linktree, when you go to linktree.com/, your name or whatever your Linktree site is, it puts all of your links on one page. Well, I decided to create my own version of Linktree, and I bought the URL ellenwinn.link, but I can add and create whatever subdomain of that I want and easily remember it and send it out to people without having this whole long list of things. So if you do subscribe.ellenwinn.link, you can go in and opt in to be on my email list, and you can also opt in to be on my text list at that point. The other way that you can find my information, Bruce, if you're not getting my emails, is just go to youtube.ellenwinn.link. And that'll take you directly over to my YouTube channel. Every one of these videos, I post them on YouTube after they've downloaded from Zoom. So you can easily find me there.
Yeah. Really, really helpful. Thanks so much. You have a beautiful.
You
Thank
bet.
you.
Thanks for the questions. All right. Anybody else before we wrap up, guys, gals? Anyone? Anything I've missed? Anything in the chat messages there that needs to be addressed?
Ellen, I haven't gotten any chat messages or questions.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, if there are no more questions, then we'll wrap up. I've been asked to be a guest speaker tomorrow at one of our chamber functions. We do a monthly program at the chamber, and once a quarter it rotates around. Once a quarter, that conversation is about entrepreneurship. Once a quarter it's about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I forget what the other one is, but tomorrow is the entrepreneur panel, and I've been asked to be a guest speaker on that entrepreneur panel with a couple of other prominent business owners here in my local county. So I'm looking forward to that. Super excited to have that spotlight, and hopefully we'll have a room packed full of folks that want to hear our wisdom as business owners and how we can help give back to the community by sharing what works, what doesn't work, pitfalls, things to avoid, and things that I wish I had known. And those are definitely going to be part of the conversation tomorrow. In fact, those are the things that I share with you guys each week on our Zooms here. Those little bits of wisdom that I've learned over the years of being in business, whether it be through direct sales or just as a business owner in general. So it's always good to come and listen in, because you never know what bits of wisdom you might get. All right, guys, if you don't have any questions, we'll just wrap up. Our next Zoom will be on Friday, which is our DAC agent update Zoom, Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time at daczoom.com. I hope to see you all on an upcoming Zoom in the very near future, and look forward to being able to help you grow a massive business. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you on the next Zoom. Take care.
Win-win.
Have a great night.
You got it. Win-win, buddy. You got